Austin Reaves reportedly off limits in a De'Aaron Fox trade, and that's probably the right call. So this is somebody who wrote the article on CBS. They're taking something that Jake Fisher said. The guy who wrote the article, Sam Quinn. Let me kind of throw this out to Laker fans here real quick. Do you think Austin Reaves should be an untouchable player for the Los Angeles Lakers? Okay. I've had interesting conversations with Laker fans on this channel, specifically about Austin Reaves. Trade deadline is a week away. We've known for the last basically maybe week and a half that probably the last week that the Sacramento Kings have basically said, hey, look, we're open for business on the De'Aaron Fox front. This guy doesn't want to sign a long-term deal here. We would probably try to get as many assets as we can now, then worry about it later. Austin Reaves has been really, really good for the Lakers this year. I know people are going to have some frustrations about him. We've talked about what the blueprint should be for Austin Reaves. I would love Austin Reaves to take maybe 10 to 13 shots a game. I'd love for him to be more of a facilitator and see if he can get others involved. I'd love for him to take less threes. I'd love for him to be more under control. I'd love for him to not be a primary ball handler, to be honest with you, even though the Lakers have kind of said, all right, you'll be the primary ball handler in most of these games with D'Lo not there. But my favorite stat lines when I look at Austin Reaves, I love seeing the 16 to 18 points, 12 shot attempts, maybe 4 or 5 3-point attempts, something along those lines. Got to the free throw line a little bit, and then a nice balance, maybe 5 assists and 5 rebounds, or 6 assists and 4 rebounds, something like that. That's my favorite version of Austin Reaves, and that doesn't mean that that's going to be there every single night, but that's what I would prefer. One of the reasons why Austin Reaves is such a valued player is to make a lot of money. Austin Reaves is making $13 million this season. And his, I think by next year, he's making $14 million. So incredible value for what he produces on a night in, night out basis. Came up through the Lakers. And then here he is also as far as the value of what he gets paid, incredible value. The first thing that went through my mind when I read this article, I read just the cover. Lakers, Austin Reaves reportedly off limits in a De'Aaron Fox trade. And that's probably the right call. Guys, let me tell you something. I'm a fan of Austin Reaves. Love his play. Does he have holes in his games? No doubt about it. If you can get De'Aaron Fox, Austin Reaves is not going to be in the way of getting De'Aaron Fox. Like, can we? I get it. You know what? Contract pretty good. Yes, he can offer this. There's a lot of value here. Let's go back here for a quick second. If De'Aaron Fox, if there's an opportunity to get De'Aaron Fox, and I'll read a piece of this article that tells a little bit more to it as far as the Jake Fisher piece of it. If you got a chance to get De'Aaron Fox, Austin Reaves is not in the way of getting De'Aaron Fox. He's not. Your 2 first-rounders are not in the way of getting De'Aaron Fox. I did a trade scenario. This was right when that news, before they fired Mike Brown. I said that, let me look at this from the Clippers perspective, Clippers. Let me look at this from the Sacramento Kings perspective. If I'm the Kings and I have to make a deal with the Lakers, because let's just say hypothetically De'Aaron Fox is saying, I want to go to LA. I would say, okay, here's what I want from you. I want Austin Reaves. I want your 2 first-rounders. I want Max Christie. And then let me see if I got to make the contracts work, what other player that I want that I could potentially take and then, shop later on. Because I think you got to match up to $35 million. By the way, this conversation is not about the Lakers getting De'Aaron Fox. It's about the article. Jake Fisher said, part of the reason that the Lakers are not a preferred destination for Fox on the trade market is that his agency, Clutch Sports, knows that the Lakers have zero intention of including Reaves in a deal. So that's why this, article came up, or the conversation came up, is that the Lakers would have no interest in trading Austin Reaves. I said it before, I'll say it again. There's certain players that I think, and I'm not trying to tell you guys De'Aaron Fox is a top 5, top 10, top 15 player in the league, but De'Aaron Fox is also today's NBA. De'Aaron Fox, if you told me it's De'Aaron Fox and Anthony Davis and then you start, really building some good pieces around them for the future of the Lakers. That's interesting. I'm taking a look at that. In a perfect world, you're keeping a guy like Austin Reaves, of course, but to get your hands on a player like that, and I do still think De'Aaron Fox, there's a reason why he wants to go to San Antonio. He wants to play with Wembanyama. I think those are probably the bigger reasons. I don't think, and I'd be very surprised at this, if that front office is saying, we're not in the De'Aaron Fox business because of Austin Reaves, I'd be very concerned that that's the thought process. Now, if De'Aaron Fox just doesn't want to sign with the Lakers long term, and you're taking basically a rental, and then De'Aaron Fox like, listen, you guys can trade for me, but by the time my contract is done, which would be in 1 year, year and a half, it'd be the remainder of this year and next year, then I'm off. I'm going somewhere else. I'm going to go sign with the San Antonio Spurs or whatever the case is. But there are only two players on this Lakers team that are completely untouchable. One is untouchable because it would be idiotic to trade Anthony Davis unless you have decided that you are in a complete rebuild mode and just have no interest in winning at all. Anthony Davis is, you don't touch Anthony Davis. He's one of the best two-way players in the NBA. He's a phenomenal, phenomenal player, and he's your present and he's your future. The other player that you don't touch is LeBron, and they won't touch him for many reasons. They won't touch him because he's got, they can't trade him because he has a veto on any trade. He's printing you money every single game like he has been. It's basically up to LeBron if he wants to go or he doesn't want to go. After that, don't tell me that there's that Austin Reaves is untradeable or there's zero interest in moving Austin Reaves or anything along those lines. That's my personal opinion. That's just when I saw the article, when I read the article, those were kind of the first couple of things that came to my mind. And that's how I look at it. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't value what Austin Reaves brings to the table. That doesn't mean that I don't think Austin Reaves is like I've said plenty of times, a phenomenal basketball player with a crazy, crazy amount of value because of his contract. What I'm saying is De'Aaron Fox is a real guard. He's a real point guard in the league. And I'm not, I'm certainly not in a position where I'm looking at this Lakers team or this Lakers organization. And if there's a trade to be had and he had to be involved in it, if it's the right player, yeah, no question about it. And listen, I don't think De'Aaron Fox was ever, or I don't think he's come to the Lakers. I don't think there was ever really a real conversation, but the portion of Jake Fisher saying that Clutch Sports isn't even kind of considering it because they know that the Lakers have zero intention of including Reaves in a deal. That one kind of was like, yeah, I couldn't disagree more with that. All right, if you enjoyed this clip and you want more, just subscribe to the channel. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. is the Sliwa Show. And then after every Lakers game, post-game show right here.